This is where we talk about languages and language learning and all sorts of other stuff, and we play games. This is Elise with an update on the ongoing Inessa Armand Translation Project. We now have 37 of the 38 extant essays and speeches by Inessa Armand translated into English for the first time. And we are just short of the halfway mark on the fundraising progress as well. This enrichment of the English language Marxist canon has only been possible with your support, and it's been a real lifeline for me. So anyone who would like to support this project can find links in the description for how to do so, and everybody who has already supported it has my sincerest thanks. Perfect. Okay, 3 of 4. 還元一級の先というのは、本当に誰も知らない字ばっかりでしょうね。私は Okay, we've leveled up and it is time to pick another language. Morfar är tröttare än vanligt. Maten är färdig. And let's see what we're doing when we get back. Greek. We're doing Greek when we get back. Ben neredeyse her gün okula giderim. Fun fact. Turkish. Hello, Shakespeare. How you doing? Fun fact, in Spanish, the word for bishop in chess is alfil. And that actually comes from Arabic. Fil. The same word fil as this. Meaning elephant, because the bishop traditionally was to represent elephant units somehow. Similarly, in Russian, the word for bishop is squab, and that also means elephant. Okay. This is Elise with an update on the ongoing Inessa Armand Translation Project. We now have 37 of the 38 extant essays and speeches by Inessa Armand translated into English for the first time, and we are just short of the halfway mark on the fundraising progress as well. This enrichment of the English language Marxist canon has only been possible with your support, and it's been a real lifeline for me. So anyone who would like to support this project can find links in the description for how to do so, and everybody who has already supported it has my sincerest thanks. Ça, c'est ça, que c'est ça, non ça, c'est ça, sol chi sa che nulla sa, ne sa più di chi ne sa. Ecco. Bonjour et bienvenue à Hyperpolyglotting avec Élise. Moi, c'est Élise, traductrice, éditrice et écrivain avec 20 ans de travail. Et ça, c'est la transmission en direct ou en jeu des jeux. Surtout GeoGuessr en dernier temps. Et parle des langues, de la linguistique, de l'acquisition des langues. 10-159. Haven't made a huge dent in it, but we're getting there. Okay, gonna do some Chinese now. Night. Night. Fun. Yen. Yo. 5. Ducks are drinking wine. Bangba, okay, Bangbaz is duck. Okay, I have now leveled up. Let's see what the XP situation is now. 10,340 out of 12,500. And as always, viewers can choose my next language for me just with a follow and a $5 to my Patreon. Sotto le frasche del capanno 4 gatti grossi stanno. Sotto 4 grossi sassi, 4 grossi e grassi gatti. Un généreux déjeuner régénéré, des généraux dégénérés. Un généreux déjeuner régénéré, des généraux dégénérés. Ah sì, sì, ecco, la gente... è la cosa che mi dice la gente, sempre che scoprisce che quante lingue parlo, io sempre avevo l'impressione, diciamo, di che non era così, non era tan così, ma poi, dopo di aver visto qualche poliglota in YouTube, una delle cose che avevo scoperte era giustamente che la metodologia usata da quella gente poliglota che non avevo mai conosciuta prima, era più o meno la stessa metodologia che usavo io. Hello and welcome to the Untitled Anarchist. To Hyperpolyglotting with Elise. Sorry, it's been sort of a weird day. I'm Elise, translator, writer, and editor with 20 working languages, and this is the stream where we're gonna play some chess. And we're also going to... Well, my chess window isn't open, I'll have to sort that out. And talk languages and language learning in support of my crowdfunded translation project. And in honor of it recently being St. Patrick's Day, I've got Irish rebel songs going. Oh, wait. And for anyone who wants this playlist, I'm gonna just drop that link in chat. For anyone who wants to know more about the Crowdfunded Translation Project. You can find more about it. Well, where is it? You can find the completed translations here. As I get things set up, I was called in to provide some unexpected technical assistance to my mother today, and that has made me late and also sort of scrambled everything just a little bit. But we're going to get started with the time we have. So let's get started with the chess. How's everybody doing, chat? Let's put a 10-minute game on. Never heard this version before. Okay, so we've already got a position that is not really what I go for, but I don't think it's strictly bad. Okay, so what are we doing here? Okay, so now we're trying to... weaken my pawn structure in the middle here. Fairly successfully, I must admit. Actually, I think that my move here is going to be to just take that pawn and give some more backup to that central pawn that I've got. That's a little bit less precarious looking. Okay. So now I have the bishop pair. I've not heard this version either, actually. On material, my opponent's up one. Well, was up one. He's now up a full piece. That's not great. I'm gonna get this bishop back at its place, which will also attack the queen. These are so far pretty much all versions I've never heard before. Oh, that wasn't actually great. No. Okay, so question at this point is, what do I have? Well, I guess I can complicate life for the queen and just hope that some kind of compo comes out of that, I suppose. That is one option, certainly.
Does down the glen one Easter morn to a city fair road those armor lines a margin men.
This is the Foggy Dew, the young Dubliners.
No pipe did hum, no battle drum did sound its dread tattoo, but the angel's bells or the liffey swell rang out of the foggy dew.
I think I may be able to take this knight. Well, no, actually, the move here would be for the knight to go here and just block. Pins the knight, but on the other hand, I don't. Oh well, or there's this. I mean, what I do have here potentially is a back rank mate, but only if my opponent really screws this up. Okay, so trading queens, then I'm down way too much material, but mating with two knights isn't easy, so there is that. I mean, the thing to do would be to fork me as many times as possible and take all of my pawns like that. Okay, let's see.
I was born in the Dublin street where the royal drums do beat, and the loving British feet they walked all over us. And each and every night when my father come home tight, he'd invite the neighbours outside with this chorus.
They left out, like, the entire refrain. Here we go. So now we're just going for a stalemate because I basically don't have anything else to do. I mean, the real challenging thing here for White is that there are all sorts of possibilities of a stalemate when you're playing with all these knights.
Get out of here and take your bloody army. Come out, just back in time, come out and fight me like a man. Check away by you and medals out in band. Don't you tell her how the IRA make the run like Holloway. For the green and lovely ladies to kill the Sandra. Come out, just back in time, come out and fight me like a man. Check away by you and medals out in band. Don't you tell her how the IRA make the run like Holloway. For the green and lovely ladies to kill the Sandra. For the green and lovely ladies to kill the Sandra.
Okay, GG's. That got off to a not great start and ended fairly consistently. And we're just going to move on and see where we go from here. Okay. Put the white pieces. Oh, damn it. That was a mouse slip. I mean, not really a mouse slip. That was just the mouse did not do what it was supposed to do. I was trying to castle there. So we're going to castle artificially. Okay, so we still got a Marochi bind. How's everybody doing today, chat? Sorry for the delay again. I had to render some technical assistance, and that ended up taking way longer than expected. Again, that was doing that.
The rocky road to double and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The hair and turn her down the rocky road. All the way to double and max for all the So where we stand by the light, run waiting there, they took the double the pure. Tell me how I'm singing all this, the bloody sure. Harry's on for drinking to see the lads mad, up and down the world, and be down the stand. Sit jar, the trouble and the glare above me there. Wasted I was nearly tired of the rocky road.
For anyone who's enjoying this playlist, in honor of St. Patrick's Day, here you'll find it at this link that I'm about to drop in chat. Okay, so my knight is attacked. Hello, Emily's. How you doing? I mean, one option is just to defend it with the other knight and open up the path of the bishop. I think that's what I want to do. There. So I'm still defending this central pawn. I'm still defending this pawn here. And I've got this bishop that is doing very nice work here for my king. Now, hang on a second. Is that a free knight? I feel like that's a free knight. I'll take a free knight. Hey, Riveroon, how you doing? Hey, Atta, how you doing? Okay, what's the best way to avoid this? it had its moments. God damn it, that was not what I was trying to do. My mouse is really failing me. It screwed me over on the, when I was trying to castle. And there, I was actually trying to check the king. Bollocks. And once again, I mean, my mouse screwed me over twice there, because I tried to castle and it dropped my king before the castling point, and then it did this. So, okay, well in any case, I'm gonna take a little bio break now. I will be back in just a couple of minutes. Sorry again for the delay on this stream. I had some stuff come up, some technical support that I needed to provide. Took longer than expected. Back in just a minute. Hi, and welcome to Hyperpolyglotting with Elise. I am Elise, translator, editor, and writer with 20 working languages. And this is where we talk about languages and language learning and all sorts of other stuff, and we play games. This is Elise with an update on the ongoing Inessa Armand Translation Project. We now have 37 of the 38 extant essays and speeches by Inessa Armand translated into English for the first time. And we are just short of the halfway mark on the fundraising progress as well. This enrichment of the English language Marxist canon has only been possible with your support, and it's been a real lifeline for me. So anyone who would like to support this project can find links in the description for how to do so, and everybody who has already supported it has my sincerest thanks. Perfect. Okay, 3 of 4.
El hospital
還元一級の先というのは、本当に誰も知らない字ばっかりでしょうね。私は Okay, we've leveled up and it is time to pick another language. Morfar är tröttare än vanligt. Maten är färdig. And let's see what we're doing when we get back. Greek. We're doing Greek when we get back. Ben neredeyse her gün okula giderim. Fun fact. Turkish. Hello, Shakespeare. How you doing? Fun fact, in Spanish, the word for bishop in chess is alfil. And that actually comes from Arabic. Fil. The same word fil as this. Meaning elephant, because the bishop traditionally was to represent elephant units somehow. Similarly, in Russian, the word for bishop is squab, and that also means elephant. Okay. This is Elise with an update on the ongoing Inessa Armand Translation Project. We now have 37 of the 38 extant essays and speeches by Inessa Armand translated into English for the first time. And we are just short of the halfway mark on the fundraising progress as well. This enrichment of the English language Marxist canon has only been possible with your support, and it's been a real lifeline for me. So anyone who would like to support this project can find links in the description for how to do so, and everybody who has already supported it has my sincerest thanks. Zach? Zach? Ah, c'est ça. Sa che se sa non sa se sa. Sol chi sa che nulla sa. Ne sa più di chi ne sa. Ecco. Bonjour et bienvenue à Hyper Polyglotting avec Élise. Moi, c'est Élise, traductrice, éditrice et écrivain avec 20 ans de travail. Et ça, c'est la transmission en direct ou en jeu des jeux. Surtout GeoGuessr en dernier temps. Et parle des langues, de la linguistique, de l'acquisition des langues. 10-159. Haven't made a huge dent in it, but we're getting there. Okay, gonna do some Chinese now. Nei. Nei. Man. Yen. Yo. 5. Ducks are drinking wine. Bangvas, okay, Bangvas is duck. Okay, I have now leveled up. Let's see what the XP situation is now. 10,340 out of 12,500. And as always, viewers can choose my next language for me just with a follow and a $5 to my Patreon. Sotto le frasche del capanno 4 gatti grossi stanno. Sotto 4 grossi sassi, 4 grossi e grassi gatti. Un généreux déjeuner régénéré des généraux dégénérés. Un généreux déjeuner régénéré des généraux dégénérés. Facile. Sì, ecco, la gente... è la cosa che mi dice la gente, cos'è sempre che scopri... And I'm back. We'll play a little bit more chess and then look at some videos. And hopefully maybe turn this streak around a bit. Okay. Playing the black pieces. You gotta be very careful to make sure that my mouse does the things I actually want it to do. Because that was a big part of how I lost that last one. There we go, mouse is jerking around again. We really wish it wouldn't do that. Getting off to a reasonable start this time, though.
Well, the army came to visit me, 'twas in the early hours, with Saracens and Saladins and ferret armored cars. They thought they had me cornered, but I gave them all a fright. With the armor-piercing bullets off me little Armalite, and it's down in the new lodge, it's where I long to be. Lying in the dark with the Provo Company, a comrade on me left and another one on me right.
Okay, so that's what we're doing, is it?
Well, when Pryor came to Belfast to see the battles won, the generals they had told him we've got them on the run. But corporals and privates, while on patrol at night, say remember narrow water and the bloody Armalite.
Oh, and the dark squared bishop. White doesn't actually open up the dark squared bishop, so...
That's a freeble.
I mean, it isn't anymore, but it might have been. Yeah, okay, so let's get that bishop someplace where it can be mildly useful. Okay, that pawn is closed off that diagonal for the moment anyway. So I can move my king back to someplace a little bit more comfortable. Stick this rook in the center so it's on the same file with the queen. Not a bad place at all for it.
Marching down Sackville Street with the starry pillar on high. Here comes the citizens' army with its fist raised in the sky. Leading them is a mighty man with a mad rage in his eye. My name it is James Connolly, and I didn't come here to die. To fight for the rights of the working class, the small farmer too. To protect the proletariat from the bosses and the screws. Hold on to your rifles, boys, don't give up the dream of a republic for the working class. Economy, liberty. Chant goes of all citizens, the system is a curse. An English boss monster and an Irish one even worse. Who'll never lock us out again, and here's the reason why. My name it is James Connolly, and I didn't come here to die. To fight for the rights of the working class, the small farmer too. To protect the proletariat from the bosses and the screws. Hold on to your rifles, boys, don't give up the dream of a republic for the working class. Economy, liberty.
I've never heard this one by Gary O. Dedicated to James Connolly, who, apart from being one of the leaders of the Easter Rising in 1916, also is extremely just well worth reading. You can find him on, you can find I think all of his stuff on Marxist.org.
For the working class, economy, liberty.
Get my king off of that diagonal so that I'm avoiding pins.
Then a bullet pierced their leader.
Ah, bollocks.
He gave up the fight. They shot him and killed him in jail. They'll never stop his cry. My name it is James Connolly, and I didn't come here to die, but to fight for the rights of the working class, the small farmer too. To protect the proletariat from the bosses and the screws. Hold on to your rifles, boys. Don't
This refrain is reminding me of
for the working
an old Birmingham joke. This general comes to review some troops in a unit based in Birmingham, and he goes, "Right, men, you didn't come here to die." And one of the privates in the front line goes, "That's right, sir. We come here yesterday. Okay, I gotta be careful here because there's a pin that I don't want to be connected to.
So, you know, you guys may or may not know this, but there are rebels in Ireland. And this rebellious business has been going on for, I don't know, 800 years or so. Of course, 800 years ago was a lot harder because they had to steal a horse or walk to wherever the fight was going on. But with the invention of the motor car, things became a little easier. And this song is about a bunch of Irish rebels who commandeer a Protestant doctor's car for some rebellious business. It's called Johnson's Motor Car. It was done by Brannigan's Corner one morning night and stray. I met a fellow rebel and to me he did say, we have orders from our captain to assemble at Dunbar. But how are we?
Oh, that's... Oh. Hey, a free queen. Wait, how did... Oh, bollocks. Free queen, but I lose anyway. Yeah. I've had better chess days than this, I will say that.
We want your motor car. What will my loyal brethren think when they hear the news? My car, it has been commandeered by the rebels at Dunluce. We'll give you a receipt for it, all signed by Captain Barr. And when Ireland gets her freedom, I'll get your motor car. Well, they put that car in motion and filled it to the brim, with guns and bayonets shining, which made old Johnson grin. And Barney High Station, thin flag and butter, wagon star. And we gave 3 cheers for the IRA of Johnson's motor car. So, you know, you guys may or may not know this, but there are rebels in Ireland. And this rebellious business has been going on for...
Ah, the Irish Brigade.
I kicked your front door down around at midnight. Oh, something's telling me, boy, you're avoiding me. And when I find you will go for your tea. Oh, I've got a brand new shiny helmet and a pair of kinky boots. I've got a lovely new flak jacket and a lovely khaki suit. And when we go on night patrol, we'll hold each other's hand. We are the British Army and we're here to take your land. My good friend Bertie, he's in the UDR. Searching for weapons, he will go near and far. Up around by Kappa, you'll never find him there. Oh, the only gun you get there is an Armalite that is here. Oh, I've got a brand new shiny helmet and a pair of kinky boots. I've got a lovely new flak jacket and a lovely khaki suit. And when we go on night patrol, we hold each other's hands. We are the British Army and we're here to take your land. My good friend Trevor, he's in the RUC. I see. But now they've handed him his redundancy. I see. The folks along the border won't be seeing him anymore. That provost sniper will be missing him for sure. Oh, I've got a brand new shiny helmet and a pair of kinky boots. I've got a lovely new flak jacket and a lovely khaki suit. And when we go on night patrol, we hold each other's hands. We are the British Army and we're here to take your land. My good friend Nigel, he's in the SAS. Oh yes. He said a change is just as good as a rest. But now they've gone and posted him way down to Crossby Glen. He was just to blazes, he was back in jail again. Oh, I've got a brand new shiny helmet and a pair of kinky boots. I've got a lovely new flak jacket and a lovely khaki suit. And when we go on night patrol, we hold each other's hands. We are the British Army and we're here to take your land. My good friend Sammy, he's in the DUP. I see. An outstanding member, as all the world could see. I said go up to Donegal if you want to have some fun. He said I'll take a run there if I have nothing on. But I've got a brand new shiny helmet and a pair of kinky boots. I've got a lovely new flak jacket and a lovely khaki suit. And when we go on night patrol, we hold each other's hands. We are the British Army and we're here to take your land.
Okay. There is... I can... Believe it or not, there is a win for me in this. Oh, but that is being...
What did I have? Said the fine old woman. What did I have? Said the fine old woman to me. I had
Oh, fuck! How the hell did... My... Thank you for, like, realizing that that was not what I was trying to do. Didn't actually matter. Yes. Okay, and now we're going to switch gears. Gonna have a look at some videos. Okay. Thought we might look at some more Evil Dia, just because this is the stuff that showed up in my rec, so I figured, why the hell not? There's usually... it usually gives me something to talk about, so... Here we go, this is called How Not to Learn Spanish in 4 Months. He does not speak Spanish, it's worth noting. So, we'll see how he judges this. And, of course, the thing about Dreaming Spanish, I think the materials are actually great. I don't entirely agree with them on how to use them. But first I gotta get the chat widget where I can actually see it with the video full screened. Yes, that is exactly right. Okay, here we go.
What's up, grinders? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be reacting to this video right here titled Learn Any Language Fast Without Being a Genius.
Okay. I've never heard of this channel. It's called Learn Any Language, and oh wait, 100, it's like 103 subscribers, so even by my standards that is a small channel, and I only have like 300 something subscribers at the moment. I don't know. See, I already don't know about picking on a tiny channel when he has something like 100 times that many subscribers. I don't know. It may be grifty. It may not be. We'll see.
And as you can see, it's, the channel in question's got 103 subscribers. Now, I wanted to react to this one mainly because, well, I just chucked it in my watch later section. In fact, when I'm using YouTube, often YouTube will promote like new language channels to me, and I'll add them to the watch later. So I figured I'd come check it out. But while I was here, I took a quick look at the comments section.
Hello from Turkey. Your speaking is such a comprehensible. You should do a lot of language stuff. Well, a lot of comments, I have to say, for a video with only 100 subs. And somebody already is actually, wait. Somebody's actually already saying Evil Dia is watching from his chair with Elmo close behind, breathing down his neck. That is what he's about to notice, I'm sure. Yeah, he can't.
And
like, I would not. I mean, unless something like this was an obvious scam or, like, in some way really harmful or problematic, I wouldn't actually touch a channel that much smaller than me, and I'm like, I'm a tiny channel.
This comment got me. Welcome to the language, or welcome to the community, man. Might want to be a bit more specific with your labels. Wouldn't want Evil Dia coming for you.
Well, that was another one. Okay, so a lot of people, like, see, I don't know that I would necessarily want that sort of a reputation, except amongst, like, people who would really deserve to be come for.
And you can see that this was his first reply. What do you mean, man?
So he's never heard of
No
him.
idea who I was. Evil Deer is watching from his chair with Elmo close behind, breathing down his neck. Oh, this is going to be fun. So, before I even watch this video, let's go take a look at the channel in question. And as you can see, this is it. He's pumped out a bunch of shorts, so I'm guessing that's where he's getting his growth from. And there's just
I will say, nice hair.
one video.
I am just a random dude that knows 6 languages and has a super cool school community. Join my free school community. Book a free one-to-one call language strategy session with me down below. Okay.
I don't know why it's marked as watched. I've only seen a little bit of it, and he's just a random dude that knows 6 languages. So apparently he speaks more languages than I do. Not that that's an impressive feat.
Well, that's what I was about to say.
And he's got a school
Rare situation where he takes the words out of my mouth.
community that you can go to. So I guess I should introduce myself for the person in question who is making this video, so you know who I am. I'm Evil Deer. I uncover frauds within the language space, and I basically
With varying accuracy, I will say.
give real ways to learn languages absolutely free without any of the bullshit.
Yeah, not... wait, okay, so he has... Oh, that's interesting. Because a lot of the time, the way he talks about comprehensible input, it does not distinguish between between a method and an ingredient. But here he has a video, apparently from a year ago, that I had not seen, called How to Actually Use Comprehensible Input, which indicates that he does understand the difference, because it is about what you do with it.
That a lot of the community likes to sell. Now, I don't speak 6 languages. I speak Esperanto fluently. I'm an intermediate level in Mandarin Chinese, obviously English, and then I'm also doing.
Wait, he's B2 in English and it's his native
I don't
language?
make any claims around my Spanish abilities. So let's begin.
This video, I'm going to show you the exact system that I used to go from 0 to fluent in Spanish in 4 months.
Okay. I mean, the question is, what does that mean, of course?
Come on. 0 to fluent in 4 months with Spanish? Well, no,
I mean, what are you starting? I mean, that... First of all, fluent is a vague term. We talk about this a lot. Second of all, like, what other things? Like, if somebody knew Portuguese or Italian... I could see them actually getting pretty far in Spanish in 4 months. I mean, I don't know. I'm not... Nothing, like, on the C1, C2 scale, most likely. But certainly a reasonable, like, B level.
Okay. Maybe you're an edge case. Maybe you're fluent in Portuguese, and you've managed to get to a spoken fluency of Spanish in 4 months due to your Portuguese, but what you're really speaking is a modified version of Portuguese, not actually Spanish. I don't know. Let's see what the claims are.
Now, you can apply the same steps to learn any language.
Oh, get out of come on.
I mean, that's not wrong. Actually, the approach for language acquisition is really the same, regardless of the language. There are different things you have to get used to. It will take differing amounts of time. The availability of resources is, of course, extremely variable. But, I mean, that's not something to be, like, fucking doing this, expanding in dismay thing that he's doing with the camera.
Any language, bro?
Yes,
My
actually.
God. Are you trying to be a younger Mikkel hyper-polyglot?
Any language. But before I get to that, I just want to tell you that you don't need the talent, you don't need the memory, and you can start from 0. I was stuttering like crazy, and I could even barely speak English, and now I'm speaking more than 6 languages, and teaching...
Okay, so if English is not his native language, and he pronounces it this well, see, I would have assumed he was a native English speaker.
Okay, so if he was
Love the waves in his hair, actually.
stuttering like hell, could barely speak English, and now obviously he's speaking English quite fast, and he managed to do that within 4 months. Clearly, he didn't use the method where you learn like a child or you learn like a baby. I bring this up because every time a new channel pops up on the scene, the first thing that they try to sell is the learn like a baby method, okay? But if he managed to get his English up, well...
I mean, which is a straw man, of course.
Then clearly that wasn't it, because he's been speaking stuttering English his entire life. So let's hear what his method is.
Do the same. Age doesn't matter. It's all just limiting beliefs. Let's get started. I actually started learning languages in my teens, and I tried so many different apps like Duolingo and Rosetta Stone, but they never worked. I mean, like, I learned stuff on there, but I could never speak it. I thought I was just bad at languages, and whenever I actually had the chance
I mean, okay.
to speak someone, like, in that language, for example, Spanish, they didn't...
I mean, the thing is that it is true that the basic approach is going to be the same. So you will hear, I mean, somebody saying totally legit things about acquiring languages is going to be saying something within the same range no matter when you find them. It becomes so it does become very repetitive. Yeah, I would not have expected that he was a non-native English speaker.
understand a thing I was saying, and I sucked at Spanish. Like, I technically like knew the words. Like, if
I mean, like, he sounds like he grew up in the Midwest to me.
I would know, okay, that's a cat. And if somebody like wrote something, I would know that that's that, but I couldn't actually speak it.
Okay, one of the 6 languages so far is Spanish. So he's got English and Spanish. He's learning Spanish. I'm guessing he's an English native.
We're having the same.
I mean, he said that he used to. He's clearly not an English native because he's talking about how he learned to speak English.
Issue, then you should probably watch this at the end. But anyway, so I got into neuroscience and linguistic stuff, and
I'm sorry, just that wording. I got into neuroscience and linguistic stuff. This would be like me making a video about, I don't know, how to do
about him and languages, about how to learn languages, because it's really, he manages to say all sorts of ignorant shit about that.
Brain surgery and being like, hey guys, I got the best method to, deal with brain cancer. So basically, the way I learned all this is I got into neuroscience and brain operation stuff.
Well, I mean, the thing is, he is so, like, this is Evil Dia talking about language acquisition, though. This is literally, like, he is no better, except that his advice is not great. I don't know if this guy's advice is worth anything, but I know that Evil Dia's is variable.
It just sounds bad to anyone in the know, okay?
like, okay, why is it not working? How to actually...
Now, wait a second. How would Evil Dia know what sounds bad to people in the know? He isn't somebody in the know.
Languages.
And I'm not even an expert, okay?
Well, yeah, I mean... technically true, but still actually rather understated.
Linguist or anything like that. I'm just a dude who speaks a bunch... Well, not even a bunch, speaks a couple of languages, but
yeah, and it's worth noting, by his own reckoning, none of them particularly well.
I've done a lot of tutoring.
I mean, except for Esperanto and English.
I mainly deal with frauds, actually, if anything. I'm just a guy who likes to grind, and I like to share my passion with you all, and we just grind languages together.
Became friends with some linguistic experts and stuff like...
Spoke with some linguistic experts. This is... You're just going for all of
No, well, I mean, that's still, like, more than you fucking did.
words.
That, and I realized that Duolingo does not work for learning languages. It's just for, like, vocab. It's just how to learn words.
I mean, it isn't even that. I would say that's giving it credit.
For speaking, it's not for listening, it's not for understanding, it's just for that. So after a while, I started creating my own method and system to learn languages effectively.
Okay, so we've got another person who's created their own method.
I mean, okay, yeah, but that can either be a useful method or it can be not. Lots of people have done that, and what's wild is how many people who've actually achieved good results have coalesced around the same basic things, though. That is one of the things that fascinated me when I started actually listening to the approaches of other people who have learned as many languages as I have well.
This will be interesting. I wonder if this method has ever been promoted before.
I mean, probably, if it's a good one, it will be some version of something that is already known.
Targeting the high ROI test, return on investment, like pretty much stuff that actually moves the needle. And with this exact method, I went into learning 6 languages. I'm almost at 7, so like 6, 7 kind of.
Okay, well, if you actually speak 6 or 7 languages, I'm guessing at a fluent level, then you know more languages than me.
Well, I mean, yeah.
see evidence of that. Maybe you do actually speak 6 or 7 languages, but if you're going to make a video like this and make a channel like this, I'm guessing you're trying to sell a course or something. The first thing you should do is actually have a long form interview and you using this language, like these 6 or 7 languages. That way, straight up, people know you're authentic. You legitimately speak a bunch of languages.
Working and taking care of a family. So yeah, it was hard. And now I want to share these strategies with you in this video so that you don't have to waste the years just like I did. I will break down my system into 3 parts.
I mean, like, what he's describing here is something that is actually a description of my experience as well, because I basically had to sort of put it together by looking at the things that did and did not work for me. And gradually I coalesced around certain things, and then it was really interesting to find out that people who had gotten, similar sorts of results to me had actually found their approach coalescing around a lot of the exact same stuff.
Oh, come on, what's with the symmetry? Why is the 2 pushed too far to the left? Oh, maybe that's the artist in me coming out, but like, no. It's like, the arrows don't line up, it's too far to the left, it's just, the bent weirdly. I understand, like, not everyone can have, like, this is an easy fix. Shut up.
Okay. I guess some people are... Yeah, I mean, I see what there is a certain asymmetry to it. And I guess he's watching this, like, in a mirror image or something, because this is right to left for me. Except it can't be, because the numbers, the numerals, are actually displaying as they should. They're frontwards. Yeah, that is an impossible challenge for him.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to break the system into 3 parts, and each part is different, and each part is unique and interesting. Okay, part 1 is input.
Okay, 3 parts, each is unique, and first one is input. Okay.
Now, each of these parts is equally important. The third one is
I thought he said that, like, the third one is interesting.
Plus more, because without the third one, you won't be able to learn a language at all, and you're going to suck at it, and it's going to be horrible. But the first one is input, and you must understand how to use it.
I mean, okay, so no notes so far, because that is true. Input is essential, and it is a matter of what you do with it, how you engage with it, and that is where, like, a lot of the complexity lies, and where a lot of the discussion on language YouTube goes awry, as we talk about a fair bit, because people will be like, input doesn't work. Well, what are you doing with it?
I'll tell you exactly what good input is, what bad input is, why you need input, how to use input.
Okay.
Example, just so you understand.
I mean...
So, what is input? Input is some form of, like, you receiving information. For example, if you are listening to a video in Spanish, you...
Yeah, I mean, okay, so the first things that he said are entirely reasonable. We haven't heard what he does with them. We also haven't heard what his results sound like. But, I mean, so far, what he's saying is quite reasonable. Like, because it is very much, as I just said, it's a matter of what you do with it, and what input you use, and all those sorts of things, and especially at the beginner level, those things are all very much key.
Are receiving input. If you are listening to, like, a waitress speaking to you in Spanish, or French, or Portuguese, or Mandarin, that's input. Let's say you are watching news in their target language, that's input. Let's say you're reading a journal, that's input.
Yeah, all true. Absolutely this is true. Everything can be input, including the other person's side of a conversation you're having.
So there's all different types of input.
Okay, nothing wrong so far with his definition of input. I'm assuming he's going to specify a bit more details in a second.
In the beginning, you want to focus heavily on visual input. Something that's visual, like a video. A YouTube video is great. News is great.
I mean, I don't know that I would consider... I mean, what does he mean by visual input? I mean, yes, I think so too, because the more of a beginner you are in a language, the more non-linguistic cues you need to make sense out of anything. So definitely that... so I'm definitely with him there. Whether the news is necessarily, like, the best sort of thing to be using in that situation... Because the thing is, I mean, yeah, the news tends to be visual, but it tends to be a very complex visual, and it does not tend to be a one-to-one relationship between what you're seeing and what you're hearing. So I don't know, I wouldn't call that perfect. Like, actually, I mean, there are aspects of the news potentially that would work. Like, say, like, the weather with the weather map, you know, because then you're getting a narrower, you know, closer relationship between what you're hearing and what you're seeing. But anything else that can be really complicated, like, I will say, I mean, I have, like, my Arabic listening has improved very much on the strength of just watching the news. But, I mean, I would not say that it is ideal. Because apart from everything else, there's a whole lot of sort of extraneous input that I can't do anything with yet, in between the things that I do understand.
TV shows are great, movies are great, all that is fantastic. So that's first, good input.
I mean, I would not say that those things are fantastic for an absolute beginner. I mean, I don't think that they hurt. But if you're talking about your ideal input, you want something that is more digestible. But I don't think it doesn't hurt, and if you're enjoying it, then then you are hearing your target language. Yeah, exactly, just to hear it, because even if you're not really understanding much of anything, you're getting used to the rhythm of it. You know, you're getting used to the sound of it. You're getting used to the way people sort of, where the pauses go, and things like that. And gradually you might even start to notice where words go. You know, how words are divided up, you know, auditorily. I mean, so I would not say that that is bad. But as a beginner, you would want something that is way more concrete.
I would only say that's good input if you're at a level of which you can understand news, TV shows, and movies. If you are an absolute beginner...
I mean, okay, I will say he's... this is better than expected.
Doing that type of input is a complete waste of your time.
I would disagree there, as I just said.
And in fact...
But, I mean, I would agree that it is not ideal for an absolute beginner.
You have missed out on the most important aspect of input here, which should be clarified in any type of video like this. It's the fact that the input needs to be at a level in which you already understand the vast majority of what's happening.
Holy shit! Like, who sat down and had fucking Evil Dia read a book? Like, absolutely, this is absolutely, what he's saying here is valid. Which I'm not used to saying when he starts talking about input. Like, did he sit down and actually, did Evil Dia watch my video pointing out what input is and isn't and why the discussion is so pointless? I don't think he did. I feel like I would have gotten a comment because I relied so heavily on taking the piss out of how ignorant he is about these things. But, like, this is, I mean, I will say, just because I try to be fair to people, this is him improving. This is easily, like, the most knowledgeable he has sounded on this subject.
Follow along, and that way you pick up the things that you don't understand.
Yes!
In context.
Holy shit! Like, somebody told him about n+1. I mean, I+1. Yes, this is absolutely right. Like, I'm not used to saying this so much, especially on this particular subject. But yeah, I mean, this is because the whole point, the whole reason that input can do the thing that it does, comprehensible input, is because there's stuff that you don't quite get yet, but that you can comprehend because of other things going on. And somebody sat down and explained this shit to him. I'm impressed. Because usually the frustrating thing for me with watching him is that he gets this stuff so wrong.
If you are day one learning Chinese and you go watch a TV show in Chinese, it doesn't matter how much input you do, you will not learn Chinese. I have proof of that on my channel.
I mean, I would say it really depends on the TV show. Like, if you're watching, like, I would say if you're, like, watching, like Chinese programming for little kids or something like that, where it's very simple and very digestible, and there's a lot of visual. It does not rely on a whole lot of abstraction and stuff like that. You probably will come away understanding a fair bit, because that is actually broken down into this sort of digestible shit that you would need for like early learning of the language. But that'll, in fact, in terms of like authentic input, that is the closest you're going to get to something that is designed for the non-native speaker at the early levels. But other than that, I mean, if you're watching like a regular TV show or something like that and you don't have any vocabulary, the most you'll get is you'll get used to the rhythm and stuff. Not a bad thing, but you're not gonna...
They did 2,000 hours of Chinese TV when they did not speak Chinese, okay? They had not learnt it. 2,000 hours of input that was vastly beyond their level, and after 2,000 hours, they were unable to say the most basic of sentences.
But what would be interesting to know, and this is the thing that he never gets into in his like evaluations of things. He will talk about production. He will assess people on production. Sometimes quite reasonably, I will say. But the thing is, how much did this person find themselves understanding more than they did? Hey, Brian. Yeah, absolutely.
I think that you would achieve in less than 50 to 100 hours, okay? So you need to clarify that when talking about input, because otherwise what will happen is people will just be like, oh, okay, so I can just go watch anime all day and I'll learn Japanese. No.
No.
Not. In fact, you will do hundreds of...
God, I mean, this is just wild for me, because he has leveled up. I'm used to him like displaying a shocking level of ignorance for somebody who speaks with such confidence on these things. And yet, here he is actually saying very reasonable things that I would not say any different.
Hours of it, and then you...
Except that I don't think it's a total waste of time. Like, I've watched Georgian programming that is way beyond my level, when I was really not used to listening to Georgian at all, and I did get things out of it. I even learned words out of it. But what I mostly got was the rhythm of the speech and how you can sort of feel the words breaking up and stuff like that.
Hate yourself, and you'll think you are incapable of learning languages because you have not taken in that most important aspect of it.
I mean, I would say that depends very much on your expectations of what you're going to get out of it.
But for the beginning is like articles, journals, stuff like
yeah, about time. Yeah, he's only been doing this for like a couple of years now, as far as I know. And this is the first time I've heard him talk about comprehensible input that suggests that he understands any of the theory of it.
No, that is not bad input. Okay.
Hang on. I missed what he said because I was saying what I was saying.
Like incapable of learning languages because you have not taken in that most important aspect of it.
Bad input for the beginning is like articles, journals, stuff like you have...
No, that is not...
Okay. I mean, he's saying it's bad input, I'm guessing, because it's, it requires reading and not listening and stuff, and you want the oral part, to start out and get used to that, maybe? I don't know, which I would not necessarily agree with either. That is a very ALG kind of approach to things, and I don't really agree with it because I often will start by reading very early, except in languages where the writing system is actually part of the challenge, because it's non-phonetic. For example, if you have a non-phonetic writing system in some way, then reading is not going to be great for... Oh, sorry. Use a cup of tea. Is not going to be great for you as a learner. Yeah! He's saying something that makes sense. So I don't necessarily... It really depends. I would not... If he's saying that reading early on is automatically bad, I would disagree. But if he's saying that reading things that are too complex early on is not great, I mean, I would say there are better things, but you can still potentially, I would say between reading stuff that you don't understand a lot of and listening to stuff that you don't understand a lot of, I feel like you'd probably get more out of the reading because it's going to stay on the page for you.
Not bad input. Okay, bad input is input beyond your level. TV shows, articles, this can be good input if it is at your level and also what you're trying to achieve. If I'm learning...
Like, I mean, actually, like, once again, I find myself in the strange position of responding to an Evil Dia video and not having much in the way of notes. Yeah, I mean, like, I would not... The one thing I would just quarrel with here is the word bad. Because, again, I mean, I prefer the term optimal, which is what Crashen also uses, because I don't think any input is strictly bad. But there's definitely some that's going to be more helpful than others at different times in your process.
Latin, then clearly I'm going to be doing more reading because there's less TV available. Like, we don't have the Avengers in fucking Latin, okay? So it's like, what are you trying to achieve? Then you can focus on reading or listening. Or both, okay. And then you need to find level appropriate, basically input.
I mean, like, this is weird. This is very weird for me because is this like the mirror universe Evil Dia?
To read stuff. That's not good. Because if you even think of a baby, how a baby learns language.
Yeah, I think people can. I think people can get way too hung up on that, on this aspect of it.
Is a baby first looks and listens to somebody speak for like 2 years.
Okay, so this is the reasoning that, and I do disagree with it.
Is this what you said helped you improve your English to stop from stumbling? You were a baby, my man, and yet you said you were stumbling until like 4 months ago.
Like, I mean, still, I'm wondering what his native language is.
Whenever you improved your English, okay, it didn't work for you. You had to do something else, right? To stop all the stumbling about. And in fact, I hate this fucking argument because this is the same one that's dropped by every single new YouTube channel out there they've touched on the language space. They have an idea about the buzzwords that exist, but they don't.
I mean, it is a little bit wild to hear him talking because, I mean, I would have... This is the first time I've heard him talking any kind of sense on this, but previously I would have described him as somebody who has an idea of the concepts, but not necessarily an idea of what they are.
Understand what they're saying. A baby does not just sit there listening, okay? If you've encountered a baby, a human baby before, the first thing you're going to notice is that they wail around, they make lots of noise.
Yeah, but the thing is, and here's where he's going to make the mistake, because a lot of that is not very concerted at all. I mean, it isn't purposeful in the way that he often thinks of it.
What they are literally doing is output. They are trying to master the linguistic instrument, i.e. being their mouth, their throat, and all the...
Yeah, but but it isn't necessarily... Like, the way he talks about it, you'd think that they have, like, their own sort of schedule that they've put together, and they're, like, ticking off boxes and stuff. And no, they're trying shit out, basically. You know, they just noticed, if I do this, it goes like this. Oh, well, I'll do this again. Neat, that happens again. What if I do a little bit different? You know, they're trying shit out. They've been dropped in the middle of a game with a controller that's like nothing they have any experience with, and they're trying to see what, and they're trying to sort of have the input-output relations, except the controller is literally their body.
The associated pieces that go with it, and they are trying to create words in order to communicate with the people that are taking
later on, yes, but I mean, he's describing completely different developmental stages here. He's not very good at this part. Yes, he does flail around and make a lot of noise,
but they are unable to do so because they have not yet mastered that instrument, okay? So they don't sit there silently. They are actually, almost from day one, trying to make noises.
Yes, but the thing is, the input to output ratio is way skewed in the favor of input. They're hearing huge amounts of stuff, and what they're doing for the most part is very little.
to get a reaction, and based on the reaction they start to make an association, a mapping within their mind for
But this is still, like, an improvement. It's like somebody sat down and gave him a reading list, and then...
does what. And then over time they spit out their first word, usually being mama, which means mum. And guess what? They don't understand.
Actually, it doesn't necessarily mean that. In Georgian, it means dad.
How to talk about fucking quantum physics yet. They don't understand how to talk about almost anything. They just know mama, and then they're feed me, this type of stuff.
Well, again, because it's the concrete things that they can sort of work out input-output relations with.
Most basic of things. They try to progress their output at the same time.
Yes, Riveroon, very true.
As their input. Additionally, there's another problem with this argument, okay? So, I actually say this is the issue where people always think if it's natural, it's good for you. So, humans learn languages as babies by sitting there and just listening. That's what people think.
That isn't actually wrong. That is, like, what linguists think, because they've studied it. It has to do with a huge amount of input. They get the amount of input that they're exposed to before they start really making any kind of concerted effort to produce meaningful output is massive, actually.
I've just clarified that that's not what happens, but that's...
he clarified that he doesn't understand what happens.
I think, okay, even if that was true, even if that was the case, why would you take the least optimized method in order to learn a language?
Okay.
We are a fully grown human. We have a whole linguistic mapping in our head of associated images with ideas.
Okay, this is precisely... This is the thing. There are two ways that when people say, like, learn like a baby or whatever... They mean using the same basic mechanism, but with a modified, improved method, using all the things that you have that you can rely on to make it easier. Or people say, like, do it exactly that way. And exactly that, and a lot of the time people responding to it will tend to strawman things a bit and make it about exactly that way. But of course, some people actually do mean exactly that way. But nobody worth listening to on this subject, I think, would say exactly that way. Because the thing is, what we've got is, like, we know concepts. First language acquisition, the big challenge is that you don't have concepts either. You don't know what anything is, and therefore having the words for things is kind of useless, because the words only have meaning if you know what the thing is.
Concepts, like everything, okay? We have spent a vast amount of time on this planet and we have mapped it out already in our head. Why would we go back to base zero and try to start again? And even if you do, your brain is able to make associations even when you don't want it to make associations, okay? It will see something and go, oh, okay, well, this is similar to my native language. Oh, okay, so that's what it means. So this would be the equivalent of...
But is this what he's actually saying, though? Is this what this guy that we're looking at here is actually saying? Or is he saying something much more sensible than that? Maybe let's find out.
Programming by just watching a ton of videos of people just typing, and let's just say they're on silent mode because you don't want to...
Okay, here we go. So somebody has not actually sat down and explained that the reason there are specific approaches based on input for language acquisition is because language acquisition doesn't work the same way as learning, like, other skills.
You don't want to have English, messing with your observation of how programming is done, okay? And you can brute force that shit. You can watch thousands of hours of them typing it out, and you can be like, okay, okay, I see how it fits together. And if you want to make it hardcore mode, choose a language like...
No, if you... Wait a second. You're just watching code be generated. My knowledge of programming is very limited. but I know enough about it to know this doesn't make sense, because okay, maybe you'll see how things fit together, but you won't know what any of these things does. You would have to see the input-output relationship to make sense out of that, and even then, I mean, there's a whole lot of theory, because actually you're learning how to interact with a machine.
Programming language that's not in English. But anyway, you could do that, and eventually, yeah, you probably learn programming. Or
No, you
could
wouldn't.
use the scaffolding of other things that you already know in your
Like, I mean, so much of programming, I've made attempts to learn it, so I know more about it than I can actually do with it. So much of it has to do with understanding things like addressing memory, making sure, minimizing resource usage so that you can do a thing without completely maxing out all of your, the programming comparisons. Like, so much of this has nothing to, isn't just, okay, knowing that printf bracket is how you, like, cause a script to display a thing. So much of it has to do with understanding, like, how to use resources efficiently and how to scale things and all sorts of other complicated shit. And how, so no, just watching people program is not going to get you there.
life. So when they introduce...
Like, I mean, how would somebody, he's apparently a game dev. Programming is a thing he knows about, presumably. So how would he be under the impression that this is how any of that works?
So you go, oh, okay, well, it's like that. Okay, it's like this. It's like that. And then you basically piggyback off of every bit of knowledge that you already know. It's like if you learn to drive a truck, you probably already learned to drive a car. So take the knowledge that you already know from driving a car and apply it to a truck. Why start again and be like, okay, let's just forget it?
I mean, yeah. But the question is that exactly what he means? And I don't think that's necessarily what he means, because that's a silly thing for it to assume that he means. If he means that, then yes, then the roast may begin. But I haven't heard that, and so far what he said has made more sense than somebody who means
Driving
this.
vehicles and start from day one. You know, it doesn't make sense.
I want to learn it just like that, baby, right? Listening. That's your input. That's what you receive. And the good input from the beginning is the videos, the TV shows. Now, of course, there's two types of input.
No,
Let him finish.
that is the terrible input. I've been there already. I've said this.
There's good, bad. There's also passive and active
Like, I mean, videos can mean anything.
input.
Okay, I've never heard this distinction made.
Okay. I'm not a fan of the whole passive versus active input. I feel like passive input is just, it's something that makes you feel like you're doing something. You're getting hours in, but realistically, you're getting almost no value out of it. If you want to do it, fine.
I mean,
But I don't think it adds anything of measurable.
I mean, it depends on what the input is and how much attention you're paying to it. You'll probably be getting something out of it.
Value to your journey learning a language, apart from the fact that it makes you feel like you're doing something. Okay, a lot of new YouTubers in this space, they do focus quite heavily on this concept of passive versus active, and I think it's way overblown.
So passive input is stuff that you passively receive when you're not actively engaging in that. This is highly
Like,
unrecommended in the beginning. Passive could be like listening to a podcast somewhere, like just it's kind of flying by.
I mean, actually, what's depending on what he means by active, what he's saying is exactly the opposite of what a lot of specialists in the field would say.
Active is you actively listening. Like right now, you're actively probably watching this YouTube video, right? You're actively diving into.
Oh, I see. Okay, so actively does not mean you're producing in response. It means you're actively paying attention. And yeah, actually, if you're actively paying attention, that definitely is more, that's definitely going to be more useful. You're probably going to get more out of it. But, I mean, I'm not going to say, I think you do get something out of passive listening. My experience is that I get something out of it. I mean, like, a lot of the time I will just have Al-Mayadeen on in the background, and I do get stuff out of that.
This exact video. You're active in this video. So that is what active input is. Now, An example of active input.
I mean, okay, that is a reasonable distinction. I agree with it. I wouldn't say, I mean, I feel like describing those as kinds of input is a bit awkward because conceptually it's not the input that is different. It's how you're engaging with it that is different. If you're actively trying to make sense out of it and retain what you're seeing and hearing, that's different to if you're just sort of, you have it on in the background and you're doing something else. It isn't the kind of input that's different, it's the kind of engagement.
For you, let's say you're learning French. We'll be watching Easy French. It's a super cool channel, and I like it a lot.
Oh yeah, actually the Easy series of channels, definitely worthwhile. I like them as well.
I was using when I was learning French, and it's good for receiving input.
Assuming you're at a level for whatever that channel is. I don't know how basic that channel is. But you're kind of touching on it, but you haven't specified yet that what you're aiming for is content that's
let me let him.
slightly more difficult than your current level.
First, you want to focus on active input, and yeah, that's the input side. And then we go into like the other two parts, which are also equally.
Okay, so the first part of your 3-part system is input.
I mean, this is a weird way, okay, because the way he describes this, it looks like phases. You know, the graphic that he put up there that Evil Dio was losing his shit about because of asymmetry. But this doesn't seem like phases. This seems more like just components that all would go together, because input is always going to be part of this.
There's no way input alone would lead you to fluency in Spanish within 4 months, unless
I mean, but of course we haven't defined our terms.
you do an insane amount of hours per day and you already speak an adjacent language such as Portuguese, but even then that wouldn't lead you to fluency.
Very important. Also, if you need help finding like free input stuff, I have a school community as like 100 free resources for the best input.
Okay, that's nice. I'll go check it out.
I mean, I would be interested.
By the way, guys,
Yeah, I would absolutely be interested in that, precisely because I think that is one of the real challenges, particularly for beginners. Because the more advanced you get, the less it really matters what kind of input you're engaging with. I mean, at a certain point, you can just sort of take the stabilizers off and just look at authentic materials on subjects that are interesting to you. You don't have to go look for the sort of pre-digested versions that are used for non-native speakers in order to help deal with specific comprehension issues that non-native speakers will have. But very early on, it matters a lot more what you're doing. But I just noticed the time, and it is time to start wrapping up. Thank you to everyone who joined in. Once again, I am sorry about the delay. It was a complicated start to the day. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I hope you found it interesting, and do check out the Crowdfunded Translation Project, and especially I need people to help me get the word out about it, because the algorithm hates small projects. It hates small everything, and it hates things that are not paying for reach. Sorry, my throat is very dry. So, if you could help me get the word out that this project exists, I would very much appreciate it. Share the translations, share posts like the one that I just linked there. Let people know that this thing exists, and that I'm also interested in hearing from people about ideas for things that ought to be translated that have sort of slipped through the cracks. And I mean, of course, if you can and would like to, donations are always very much appreciated. But it is time for me to wrap up and see about eating dinner things. So I'm going to do that, and I will see you tomorrow at 4:30 p.m.